Hi everyone and welcome to French Watch Collector. Today on a bench we have a vintage Yema submarine automatic. So you can see the watch is a diver watch. So submarine is mean diver in French. And yeah, it's pretty old. It's not in good shape. You see the date is changing, but you see when you change the hour, something wrong there. Like the hand are hitting each other and the hour and the minute hand are turning together. That's strange. The watch is running, and I bought this watch because I really like the hand actually, and the vintage look of this watch. I like this broad arrow minute hand and the patina that's on the hand. You see the watch on a time grapher is gaining 20 more than 20 seconds a day, and the amplitude is at 245, and the beat error is quite high at 2.1. So it's not too bad, but there is some work to do on this watch. And on the restoration side, you see that obviously there is an issue with the hand. So let's see if we can fix that. Okay, so I removed the bracelet. It was only one part, and I will open the parts, and you can see there the movement. So it's automatic. It was written on the front. So you see the rotor is actually quite strange. It's a very small rotor, and there is a nice finish on it. So yeah, we see that later when we remove. I just remove the hand first with a Presto tool, the nice hand. So we will store them away in a safe place. I will remove the dial. You can see the damage on the side, but actually you don't see it when it's in the case. So it's not too bad. The dial is in good shape with this matte finish and this nice patina on our markers. I like it. And we saw the watch as a date function. So first there is this ring around that I need to remove. That's a ring, like yeah, get where the dial is sitting on it. Just need to remove this ring, and I will start by disassembling the date function, the date mechanism. So I remove this plate on the top first with these 3 screws. Remove the plate, and underneath we should see the mechanism for the date. Remove the hour wheel and the pinion. You see that's strange. The pinion came with the hour wheel, and looks like there is a bit of friction there. So that's why maybe I don't know if it's a reason why the parts were the hour hand were turning and the minute hand were turning together. Yeah. So this mechanism probably have some dried up oil and it was not maintained for quite a long time. So yeah, let's get all the parts out of the mechanism, give them a proper clean, and let's see what we are getting as a result. You can see the rotor there. There is some play. So we see if we can address that a bit later on. We're going to try to remove this part first. There is a part which is keeping the rotor in place. Just make it slide, and normally the rotor should come up. Yeah, so go very gently, and here is a rotor. That's a part that we're keeping it in place. Just struggle a bit to catch it. There we go. That's a reversing wheel for the rotor, just to make sure he wind in both direction. And now I'm just removing, and you see there I just drop a screw under. I don't like that. Just drop the screw in a balance and just below the balance spring, and I don't want to damage the balance spring. So see if we can remove. Oh, you saw when it just lift, you actually just throw away the screw underneath, and here is a screw here. So you see that's why I always disassemble the balance assembly first on the mechanism. I could have done it actually before removing the automatic bridge if you want, but yeah, because you don't want to damage this part. Is so fragile, especially the small spring which is underneath. So yeah, I just want to get it out of the way and remove it from there. Okay, now I remove the mechanism, and you can see the mechanism is written on the bottom is France et Bosch. So yeah, it's not a well-known movement if you want compared to ETA, but it's pretty similar. Actually, the movement is not. I found the quality being not too bad and pretty similar to ETA. So I don't know much about this brand, but yeah, it looks quite good. Quite a lot of jewels. So that's a sign of quality on a movement. pretty simple, like nothing fancy. So just removing the palette for cock there. You see the palette for cock is pretty simple, like a like almost like a sheet of metal, yeah, with a jewel on it. But it does the job. Just removing now the train of wheel bridge. We go. Just removing train of wheel. Perfect. Removing, like, try to remove as many wheel. And now I try to start to disassemble the ratchet wheel and the crown wheel. So this is a ratchet first. Just getting it out of the way. It didn't go that far. Oh, that's not good. You see that there is a lot of play on the barrel underneath. Due to wear, it's probably the wear when rotating. It calls some wear on a part, and you can see like there is too much gap there. So we'll address that a bit later on, because that can damage the amplitude of the watch and the accuracy of the watch. Ratchet wheel, the crown wheel, sorry. See, with the reverse threaded screw on top of it in the center. So remove the wheel there. This little ring around. There we go. And now we can remove this bridge. So the barrel bridge. Remove the two screws, and we should have the barrel underneath. And we will take the barrel out and remove it later, disassemble it later. There we go. Now I'm just unscrewing the setting lever screw, because now we are going to disassemble the keyless work. That's what's left on the watch, on the calendar, on the dial side, sorry. So that's pretty standard, like some different parts, obviously. There is a quick set date function, so that's the wheel for the quick set date. We have some extra parts on it compared to a standard watch, but not too much. Here is a spring. We remove these parts as well, which is driving the quick set date. We have the yoke spring there. See, holding it with my plastic stick and with the tweezer. Here we go. Did not fly away. And we have the yoke, removing the yoke. And the last couple of parts with the winding pinion and the clutch. And all of these parts will go in a cleaning machine a bit later on. First, yeah, look at that's the mechanism for the automatic winding system. So first, you see, I need to remove this arm, and that's free up the wheels which is underneath. So there is two wheels there. It's pretty simple. I like it. It's very easy to maintain, very easy to disassemble. And now just we'll open the barrel assembly. Just try to pop the lid. There we go. Remove the lid and the arbor inside. Remove the arbor, and we should be able to remove the spring. I will unwind the spring, and all of this need to be cleaned properly and re-oiled after. So first we need to disassemble everything to clean it. So I will take, you see, slowly left, right. We just take out the mainspring from the barrel. Quite a long mainspring. Okay, I put back the balance assembly on the main plate. Just a safe place to keep it during cleaning. Go check if it's centered. It was centered. When you see when I'm working in and it's moving like that. And now we place all the parts in a basket, placing all the small parts from the watch in a basket, and that will go in a cleaning machine. So a couple of steps, few steps for the cleaning. First, we do a proper clean. That's the first step. Just increase the speed, the rotation speed. And after we'll have two rinsing steps and a drying. The last part will be the drying step. We just finish the cleaning. So if you like the video and you want to support the channel, please subscribe, click on the bell icon. You will get a notification from my latest video. I try to put one video per week. It's quite time consuming, but I do my best. So I will appreciate your support if you subscribe and click on a like and bell icon. So thanks in advance. Okay, so now the parts are dried up. Yeah, here we go. I'm just putting on out of this chamber, which is heated, so it's fully dry. And with the parts fully clean, it means one thing is we are ready to reassemble the watch. But first, let's have a look at the case. So the case, you see there is a crown. The crown actually is totally fixed. I cannot move it. It should be supposed to rotate. But let's open it. I don't have a tool to open a crown yet, but, and wow, what's that underneath? It's disgusting, yeah? Look at the amount of dirt that there is underneath. I don't know what it is, and I don't know what to. I don't know. I don't want to know what it is. I will first try to remove as much dirt with this pegwood. You see, that's a lot. And after, I will put everything in an ultrasonic machine to get it as clean. And I will try to remove the crystal. And I did not see, but the crystal actually has a tension ring, and the crystal is pretty tired. And when I push it, it breaks. Yeah, you see, like it snap off, and the ring, the tension ring is still in it. So I will remove it later. First, I will clean. You see, that's under the bezel, and there is the spring, like, yes, the tension spring from the bezel. I will just remove it now. Just carry on removing as much dirt as I can with this pegwood, and I will put all of that. Here we go, into the ultrasonic machine. Now it's cleaning nicely, and we'll see a bit later on the finished result after the cleaning. Okay, so first step after cleaning, I want to re-oil the jewel from the balance assembly, and this have a different kind of shock setting, and the spring on the top is called the Keef spring, and you see I use a tool to twist it, to turn it, and pull it out of this position. So first I treat it in epilam. So I treat the jewel in epilam, so I have to make sure that the oil is retained at the center. That's very important. And after, I will put a drop of oil after drying them and cleaning them properly. I will put a drop of oil. See, he doesn't want to leave the. There we go. And just with a blower, just drying them. Put a drop of oil, putting some 9010 right in the middle. Just put the chaton back on the top. There we go. And now I just put it back in the balance. And obviously, I have to put the spring again back in place. You see this weird spring. And I will use a tool just to twist it, to rotate it. You see, there we go. Go in place, and I will just rotate. And like that, the spring stay in place. Perfect. Same process on the other side. Just remove the jewel. Either I have the pallet fork and the escape wheel as well that I want to treat in epilam, because we'll oil them a bit later down the process. So same process, I will just put them in epilam, just leave them for like 15-20 seconds in epilam, dry them. I will clean the pivot as well for the escape and the pallet fork, oil the stone there, put it back inside, close the spring, and that's it. We have the oiling of the balance assembly is done on both sides. Here I'm cleaning the pivot. I'm trying to remove epilam from the pivot point of the escape and the pallet fork. And now we can focus on putting back the mainspring. So I use a set from version to a winder set. So I put the mainspring in it. I'm just basically winding it back inside the winder, and after I will transfer the mainspring from the winder. You can see there inside is fully wind. Just remove the handle. Put a bit of oil at the bottom, and on the top there, that will be for the lid. As it is an automatic watch, I put a special grease, a graphite grease, on the wall of the barrel. So that's to prevent that the spring is always sliding, obviously, on an automatic watch. It doesn't stop. And here we go. I put the spring back in it. Just oiling the point where I'm going to put the arbor back in place. Always to reduce the friction and wear on the parts. So always need to oil all the different parts. And I will put back the lid. Here we go. And now we should be able to close the lid with this tool. With just a gentle press on it, and the lid will go back in place. Perfect. And I'll always check as well the barrel for handshake. And this one has too much handshake, so I will just put a gentle pressure on it. There we go, to reduce the handshake of the barrel assembly. Okay, you remember there, it was too much play between the barrel arbor and the plate on the top. You see, like it's rotating, it's moving around. So I will try to reduce this play. So basically, I'm putting the plate inside and I'm just tapping on it to reduce the hole. I just use like a set of puncher, which are spherical puncher, and this will reduce the size of the hole. And you can see there after you need to put it a bit bigger the hole, and you see there no gap anymore. There is no play, and the barrel is rotating freely, and there is no play. So we reduce the play, and this will help the watch run more precisely. And as well, sometimes the barrel arbor can touch, if there's too much play, it can touch one of the wheel, and it will destroy the amplitude of the watch. So that's something very important to do. If you see any play there, very important to reduce it with a stacking set. Okay, I'm just putting back now the train of wheel, just putting back all the wheel in place. Slowly, you see this one just struggle a bit. There we go. It went in place. Just find the right pivot point underneath until here we go. You see, it just fell in a hole. Perfect. This one as well is aligned. Okay, just putting all the parts. Now the center wheel, just putting a bit of oil on the center wheel before putting into the pivot point there in the center. Perfect. Now we put all the wheels. We should be able to put the train of wheel bridge on top of it, and we need to do the same thing. We need to align. You see all this ruby, as this pink color stone, need to be aligned with the pivot point underneath, with the pivot of each wheel. So very gently, you see, oh, that looks good. Perfect. That was very quick. It just fell in position straight away. Very lucky there. And now I can secure it with a screw. Perfect. So here we go. So the train of wheel is in place. We can focus on assembling now the rest of the crown and ratchet wheel. Where is oiling, greasing properly. This is the click with the click spring. Bit of a different design there compared to some other watch, but I quite like it. It's quite simple, but efficient. Here we go. And now the ratchet, I need to align on the square shape of the barrel arbor. There we go, perfect. Everything is connected now. Okay, just secure it with a screw. Next, we are going to go back to the die side. We are going to do the keyless work. So I put like the winding pinion, the clutch, greasing them with some 9501, which is quite a thick grease. You see a lot of friction there. Putting the setting lever, oiling all the different points there. While I'm at it, I'm oiling all the points where I'm going to put the wheels. Like that is done. And after I can focus on putting the parts together. So putting the yoke spring. So you see on this side, yeah, it's pretty standard. The movement, there is nothing too complicated. And obviously we see if we manage at the end to get it with a better accuracy, better amplitude. And as well, if we manage to resolve this problem, you remember when I was turning the hand. So this is you see this Canon pinion is a bit weird. It's a bit different, like with like kind of two wheels, two levels on a Canon pinion. Some intermediate wheel there, minute wheel. Yeah, see if we can resolve this issue, because I really like the vintage look of this watch. That's why I bought it. And that's what's nice in this hobby as well. Obviously, it's like you find a watch on eBay or watch somewhere at auction or on a website. It looks pretty rough, but you see the potential in a watch. And yeah, it's nice to restore the watch yourself, to redo everything, and to add a watch in your collection that you have yeah, you have service yourself. It's completely different than other watch you own that you bought at the jeweler or watchmaker. Yeah, it's a different feeling. Obviously, you share, let's say, more story with the watch, and you know a bit more details, a bit more insight on the watch. So yeah, it's a very special feeling. Yeah, and it's nice, obviously, when you see a nice watch with potential to redo it, and after wearing it. Okay, so the keyless work is done. Now we just go back on the other side, and we'll have soon the moment of truth if the movement want to start. But first, we need to put the palette fork. See, yeah, just align it. I saw just went down there, so it means it's aligned. See, moving left and right, perfect. Just put a screw. Just going to oil all the jewels there from both sides, obviously. So I did not oil the other side, so just oil this side now. Putting a bit of a wine on a watch and see if the palette is clicking left and right. Okay, so now I'm going to oil the palette fork so that I'm using automatic oiler. It's pretty difficult to catch it on camera. So yeah, I'm oiling one stone, and there I'm putting the balance assembly and see if the movement want to start. Bit tricky there, just to make sure. Yeah, oh, it want to start already. Yeah, I saw it just, and it was even not close to be aligned. Let's see. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, it's weird. Like it's starting very, very quick. Okay. Almost. It looks like, yeah, it's aligned. Not yet. Now it's aligned. Perfect. There we go. We have a runner. So let's put the screw in place. We have a running movement. So now let's focus. Last parts is the automatic bridge. So first need to oil the pivot point, putting the wheel. You remember there is these arms that need to be put in place. There we go, just to keep the wheel safe underneath. Just push it, put it in place on the top, just aligning everything. Just to make sure you sit down. Sometimes you have to wind a bit the watch that it fell, like the teeth fell together in the right place. And there we go. Now just put the two screws. On the other side, we still have the calendar mechanism. So just putting back the cannon pinion that fell off. That's the calendar driving wheel, the hour wheel. Yeah, this is a click for the date jumper. Sorry, for the calendar. Just put it in place there. You see with a spring. I can put back the date disc. Just putting the spring there. That's the spring you see. I need to make sure it click like between each days. There we go. I can put the plate that we keep all these parts underneath safely in place. And we can check if the data function of the mechanism is working correctly. So remember, there is two functions on this. There is a normal function where the date is jumping at midnight, and as well there is a quick save date function. So this is now I'm checking the quick save date. You see, just turning, it's changing the date rapidly, and after there will be a function where obviously the date change when it's at midnight. So we see that a bit later when we feed the hands. First, I need to feed back this ring around. You go, just need to make sure, put a bit of pressure. Perfect. And feed back the dial. Beautiful, like matte black dial. Just give it a quick clean with a bit of Rodico. I didn't do any fancy on the dial. I didn't want to risk damaging it, and actually it's not looking bad. So just keep it like this. Just remove any, and just setting the watch at midnight. So it means when the date is changing, clack, the date is changing. So now we're gonna put these beautiful hands. I love the patina on these hands. Just align it to midnight. Press it in place with this tool. Gonna do the same process with with a minute hand. This beautiful. This one makes the charm of the watch here with this broad arrow. Just align it to midnight. We press it. We'll have a check. See first the hours are aligned. Yeah, looks good. And let's check the change of date. Look at 9 o'clock. So the alignment is quite good as well. And let's see when it's changed. Oh, it just changed like maybe 1 minute before midnight. So that's perfect. You remember I broke the crystal when I removed it. So I ordered a new crystal with a tension ring, a silver tension ring. Now just pressing it in place into the case. There we go. Just fitting remember it was so dirty there. Just fitting the spring from the bezel. And look at it, like it looks much cleaner. Obviously it's worn, but it has a charm, it gives a charm to the watch. And yeah, with a new crystal, it gives a all new look to the watch. Okay, so I put this spacer ring for the movement in place. Just winding stem, put it back inside. Just make sure everything is centered with the winding stem there. There we go. You can just press it. And we'll secure it with the screw there. We just tie the screw. I'm using some Lubeta V105. That's for the lubrication of the reversing wheel. Same, I just leave it like for a few seconds in it. And I'm just going to dry it. So yeah, very important to lubricate as well the reversing wheel. Okay, just put it in place. There we go. There is a spring there. That need to be, you see, it's very small. So always use two tools, one to keep it in place and one to add the tension. There we go. It's in place. Do lubrication on the center post. And you remember it was some play as well on a rotor. So I do the same process. I just tap it with my tools there to reduce the hole. And that will reduce the amount of play on the center post. Because as well, it's not good if there is too much play. The rotor will add some friction on the watch on the bottom, and it will create some wear. And the watch as well will be less efficient to wind. So yeah, you want to have not too much play on this part as well. Okay, now I'm just inserting the parts that keep it in place. Make sure it doesn't come out of the pole there. Just putting the screw. There you go. Changing the seal. So I put a brand new seal on the case back. First, I need to lubricate it in moly coat to make sure, like, yeah, it improves the lubrication of the seal. It's a diver watch, but obviously it's a vintage diver watch, and at the back as well it was written 40 meters. So compared to some of the watch now, it's like 200, 300 meter, 40 meter diver watch. It's a bit of a joke, but yeah. And the back is a snap-on back. It's not a screw down back. And here is the finished product. You can see the hands are working nicely. That is changing at midnight or close to midnight. Yes, perfect. Beautiful finish on the hand. Lovely watch. I like this vintage Yema Submarine. See if the quick say date is functioning. Yeah, you see the date is changing quickly, rapidly. So that's perfect. Just a quick, we demagnetize the watch, put it on a time grapher, and let's see what we are getting. Okay, you see we have a bit error of 0. That's perfect. The amplitude close to 280. And the watch is gaining like 9-10 seconds. I can put it lower a bit, but for me it's fine. I mean, having a watch which is gaining like 9, 8, 10 seconds per day, it's not that bad, especially I don't wear the watch every day. And here is the finished product. I hope you like the video. I leave you with some images of the finished product, and I see you next time for my next project. Bye bye.